This might sound crazy, but it is possible to never pay taxes again for the rest of your life without breaking the law. And this video will explain 3 completely different strategies to do exactly that. And these strategies don't require that you open up offshore bank accounts or do anything shady. They can be done by regular people, and they're not even that complex. And I'm actually planning on using all 3 of these strategies, which is one of the reasons I should be able to retire before turning 30 years old and never have to pay taxes again. And even better, if you use the last of the 3 strategies I'm about to talk about, I can almost guarantee that you'll be able to retire decades faster than you think. But first, we need to talk about why it's even possible to never pay taxes again. In America, the vast majority of taxes are collected directly from your paycheck. About 50% of taxes come from individual income taxes, and another 35% of taxes come from Social Security and Medicare taxes. These taxes are automatically deducted from your income. So as long as you earn an income, it's pretty much impossible to avoid paying taxes completely. Now, there are still a few strategies that you can use to massively reduce your tax bill. I made a whole video on 3 strategies I used to save almost $11,000 last year, and there's a resources guide in the description that explains each of them. But unless you earn a very low income, those tax strategies will not get you to a $0 tax bill. To legally never pay taxes again, you need to minimize your earned income. But that doesn't mean you should quit your job to pay less tax. Obviously, you still need some income to live off of. But that actually brings us to the first of 3 strategies that you can use to never pay taxes again. Because it turns out that not all income is treated the same. In 2012, billionaire Warren Buffett famously claimed that he had a lower tax rate than his secretary. That's because taxes are deducted from your earned income, but not all income is earned income. For example, the money you make from long-term investments is treated completely differently. Basically, when you invest in the stock market or in real estate or in anything else, you're hoping that your investment becomes more valuable with time. The difference between what you paid for an investment and what you sold the investment for is called a capital gain, assuming you made money. So if you bought a house for $300,000 and sold it a few years later for $400,000, you would have a $100,000 capital gain. You may have to pay taxes on capital gains, but capital gains are treated very differently than personal income. And as long as you own the investment for more than a year, it's considered a long-term capital gain, which is really important. That's because at least last year, a married couple could take $94,000 of long-term capital gains without having to pay a single penny in taxes. And for a single person, the limit is half of that. And you don't have to completely replace your income either. After all, the standard deduction is over $29,000 for married couples, and again, half of that for single people. That means a married couple could have over $29,000 of earned income and $94,000 of investment gains. That's $123,000 of income without having to pay any taxes at all. And again, there's all sorts of strategies to reduce your taxable income even further. The guide in the video description explains how I reduced my taxable income by over $30,000 last year. So using those same strategies, you could potentially earn far more than the standard deduction and still have to pay no tax, as long as you put your money into tax-protected accounts like a 401k. So this is the first way to never pay taxes again. When you replace your income with capital gains, you won't pay income taxes like everyone else. And as long as you use tax-deductible retirement accounts and the standard deduction to reduce your income even further, you might not owe any taxes on your earned income either. Altogether, a married couple could bring in about $150,000 per year without paying taxes at all. But of course, it is not easy to replace your income with capital gains. To do that, you have to save up a large amount of money to invest. And even worse, most people have a huge percentage of their income in retirement accounts, which have limitations to when you can access it. But by using this next strategy, that isn't an issue. Not only will I pay less tax, I can also get early access to all of my retirement accounts. To understand this next strategy, you have to understand a Roth individual retirement account. So give me about 30 seconds to explain. With a Roth individual retirement account, or Roth IRA, You contribute money that you've already paid taxes on. So contributing to a Roth IRA does not reduce your tax bill today, but it does reduce your tax bill in the future. That's because any investment gains that occur in your Roth IRA are completely tax-free forever. So as long as you wait until retirement age, all of the money in your Roth IRA is yours, tax-free. And what's especially important about a Roth IRA is you can always withdraw your original contributions. After all, you already paid taxes on that money. This actually becomes really useful for us because you can also convert money from other retirement accounts into a Roth IRA. And those conversions are treated as contributions to your Roth IRA, which means you can withdraw them before retirement age. So here's how you can use a Roth IRA to retire early without paying taxes. During your career, you max out your traditional retirement accounts, like a 401k, to decrease your tax bill. After retiring, you can set up a series of conversions from your 401k to your Roth IRA. These conversions will be treated as taxable income, but as long as you keep them under the standard deduction and use other techniques to reduce your taxable income even further, you might be able to avoid paying taxes at all. For example, a married couple could convert about $30,000 per year from their 401k to their Roth IRA with no taxes, because that's what the standard deduction is. You'll have to wait 5 years before you can withdraw each conversion without penalties. But in the first 5 years of retirement, you can still live off of capital gains from your personal investment account or any contributions you already made to your Roth IRA directly. Again, that could all be tax-free. And then, year 5 and onwards, you can access the money that you converted into your Roth IRA 5 years ago. This gives you early access to your retirement accounts, potentially completely tax-free. And if these conversions are not enough to live off of, you can keep using capital gains to cover the rest. This is called the Roth ladder strategy, and it's a powerful way to get access to all of your retirement accounts without paying high taxes. Since I'm planning to reach financial freedom before I turn 30 years old, which is decades before I could normally access my 401k, I absolutely plan to use this strategy myself. But most people are not on track to retire so early. But if you use this next strategy, you probably could be. Because this last strategy will not only help you avoid income taxes, it could also help you retire decades faster. Let me explain. The government collects taxes to help pay for services that all citizens use, like roads and bridges. But what if you don't use any of those services yourself? Should you still have to pay taxes? This might seem like a hypothetical question, but it's not. Millions of people live as expats in countries where they are not citizens. So if I moved from America to Portugal, it would make a lot more sense to pay taxes in Portugal rather than America. And in a lot of cases, this is exactly what happens. A lot of countries won't tax you at all if you live abroad. America will, but not on the first $120,000 of income. So in most cases, you could be working a full-time job and still not owe any income taxes. However, if you do this, you might have replaced the taxes of your home country with the taxes of the new country you live in. And that might not always be a good trade. But here's the thing. You typically don't have to pay taxes in any country that you live in for less than 6 months. So that means as long as you only live in a country for a few months at a time, you might never have to pay taxes. This is one of several reasons that being a digital nomad is so popular. You can travel the world all while saving tens of thousands of dollars on taxes. And even better, you could use this strategy to retire decades faster than you could in America. It turns out that living abroad has a lot of benefits, and saving tens of thousands of dollars on taxes is just one of them. What's even more important is that some countries are just way cheaper to live in. I live very close to Washington, D.C., where an annual income of $68,000 per year is recommended for a single person, and $123,000 is recommended for a family. But to afford the same lifestyle in Vietnam, you might only need an income of $15,000, even in the most expensive cities. That means you could retire to Vietnam on less than $500,000 a year and still live a very comfortable lifestyle, while most people would want millions of dollars if they were going to retire near Washington, D.C. So by using one of these 3 strategies, or any combination of them, there is a very high chance that you might never have to pay taxes again, or at least pay very little. But most of you are still probably working hard in your careers, so you probably don't have enough saved to live off of capital gains. It's a little too early to start using the Roth ladder strategy, and you probably weren't planning on quitting your job and traveling the world anytime soon. So you might have to pay taxes for a little while longer. But the good news is that there are still a few strategies you can use to massively reduce your tax bill. And over the last year, I estimate I've saved $10,786 in taxes just by using the 3 strategies that I explained in this video right here. So unless you hate saving money, you definitely need to check out that video next, because the sooner you start those strategies, the more money you're going to save.